Hello, good evening. I would like to thank you all for being here today. My name is Fernando. I'm a sales engineer at InterSystems Brazil. And I would like to introduce Adriano. Adriano is product director from Shift, and he will explain for us who is Shift and what Shift data platform is. Following Adriano, José. José is a developer who is responsible for developing this solution and will show for us technical details about it. And following José, my colleague Benjamin will explain for us the IRIS roadmap applied in the solution. Thanks for all. My part is done easily. Please.
The best part, Fernando.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We are going to introduce our business case Shift Data Platform, the IRIS roadmap applied. Firstly, I'd like to thank InterSystems for this opportunity, and thank you, Benjamin, for sharing this stage with us. Okay? Let me introduce our company. Shift was founded in 1992 by Marcelo Lorenzin, our CEO, and we are located in the state of São Paulo. Now we cross the border and we are in 5 countries in Latin America. And we do have a purpose. We exist to transform the health of the business and the people. With a mission that we are committed to deliver technology solutions for diagnostic medicine, and with a vision to be reference in Latin America. At Shift, we are specialized in creating software solutions for diagnostic medicine. Our Shift Data Platform provides solutions for LIS, RIS, anatomic pathology. And how do we impact our market? Our solutions impact in over 404 million test processes per year, which is more than 20% of the national volume of tests in Brazil. We do over 60 million surveys per year, and we have more than 25,000 active users in Brazil and abroad. We have a group of differentiated customers in which 85% have at least one certification or quality accreditation. Let's take a look in diagnostic medicine marketing, not only in Brazil, but in global marketing. We have a lot of opportunities, like the aging population and the use for preventive care, the personalized medicine, the high prevalence of infection and chronic disease, the more and more disruptive technology by each year, and the need for quality and safety. But we also have challenges, like to meet the patient needs, to provide equity and access, the increased demand for diagnostic service, and the high demand for technologies and data analytics. When we say technology in medicine, it means investments, which can bring high costs and a challenge for sustainability. So, in the face of these challenges, we started discussing at Shift how can we transform our customers and the medicine diagnostic. Our answer was business benchmarking. What is business benchmarking? Benchmarking is an excellent tool where institutions can exchange information and seek to compare to each other to achieve best results in performance based on quality indicators and KPIs. In addition, benchmarking can help organizations to identify improvement areas and identify a way to differentiate themselves. It relies on collecting and analyzing data to make more informed. Technical problem, sorry. So, how is Shift benchmarking in Brazil? Despite the almost 20,000 clinical laboratories that we have in Brazil, the number of participants in benchmarking programs is still small. We have roughly 350 only participants in the programs. And why this number is so small? One of the biggest challenges in adopting benchmarking is data collection. The need for a tool that reduces complexity and add agility and reliability in data extraction and collection can reduce the resistance from the part of the health professionals. But at Shift, we did our homework and paved our way. Historically, Shift started exchanging information among customers years and years ago as a Shift Club, which later became Shift Benchmarking. It was a hard-working extracting information manually, but we have a study that at that time, the group of customers in Shift Benchmark have had grown 50% more than the market. So this brought a network effect with more customers want to join this group to participate in the benchmarking. So bringing together the information from the marketing, our experience, the insights from the last global summit, and the Shift strategy, we designed our project Shift Data Platform, which the main goals are to provide new opportunities to the market and remain Shift competitive and relevant in Brazil, to provide benchmarking among the customers and provide a generation of sectoral data and information, not only impacting our customers, but impacting the whole market in Brazil. To improve and bring product evolution like our Shift BI, to provide the commercialization of new products such as data as a service, and the last but not the least, to provide AI-powered suggestion for more informed decisions. What do we expect like benefits from this project? To improve the quality of service and operational efficiency, improve the patient satisfaction and the safety, to improve the financial management and improve process and the use of the resources, improve the ownership in the employees, and help organization to identify gaps. But we can foresee some challenges, like lack of harmonization in diagnostic medicine, the resistance to change on the part of the healthcare professional, data collection and reliability, and the lack of access from relevant information in healthcare. Now, let's have the technical overview.
Thanks, Adriano. So let's check the technical review. Okay, so as Adriano said, the business benchmarking is a great opportunity to add value to our solutions. So, but we have some challenges. As Adriano said, the main challenge is access. Most of several of our customers are on-premise customers, so data is isolated on their own infrastructure. And at the beginning of this project, we hadn't no centralized platform for data ingestion, process, and consumption. So the solution was create our own data platform, the Shift Data Platform. This data platform our data platform is driven by our first data as a service product, the Shift Business Benchmarking. It's grounded on the data pipeline design principles, and it is aligned to InterSystems Smart Data Fabrics. Here is architectural overview of our platform. A quick definition here. So data platform are sets of processes that moves and transform data from various source to a destination where new value can be derived. So this is very important, added new value. These processes are logical arranged into steps, and our data platform has 6 of them, creating, taking account cohesion between those steps. And I will talk through each one quickly here. So the first one is the collection step. So it is where the data is gathered. in the source and sent to the data platform through some interface. In our case, we grab data using through CSV files through a collector and agent into the source. This agent sent compact the CSV and sends to a REST API in our data platform. We used CSV because CSV is simple and while supported among systems. It requires low generation, transmission, and storage costs, has good compression ratio, and it's easy to control the throughput, both in the customer side and the data platform, so we can manage pressure on system. So the next step is the ingest step. This is a simple step where our REST API is located. It's just to get the CSV compressed, uncompressed, and stored in a special file system directory, the land area directory. And after the CSV files are ready to be used, we came to the next step, the storage step. This step is responsible to get the data into CSV and insert inside IRIS. So, and that step is basically IRIS interoperability production, where we're taking advantage of some building features like a file bound adapter, which is listening the LAN area, and the load data SQL statement implemented into a custom business operation. So after the data is inside IRIS, we are ready to go to the next step, the transform step. As the name suggests, is where the raw data is transformed into analytical data. We are using DBT as the tool for doing the transformations. And we have several projects, DBT projects, one for each kind of transformation. Currently, those projects are triggered by IRIS using a micro-batch approach. So the next, okay, there. And once we have the analytical data, we are ready to deploy, make the data available for our customers. So is where we have the two last steps, the analytic steps and the consume step. The analytic step is where the data mart resides, and basically we manage to access those data marts. And the consume step is where our customers are, their data visualization tools are located. In our case, we are providing two kinds of access to the data marts, to the analytical step. One using virtual cubes, the semantic layer for popular data visualization tools like Microsoft Excel, for example. Another kind of connection through REST APIs for business-to-business integrations. Also, we have a NodeDBC way to connect, but it's just for our BI solution, which use ClickSense. And last thought I would like to, let's talk a lot, say about the architecture overview. It's why we choose create steps this way, taking cohesion in account. It is because we can take advantage of features, of IRIS features like IKO and DCP to provide scalability, so we can run our REST API and the business production into compute ECP modules and scale it through IKO. And to finalize the overview, I would like to present our data architecture, which is very straightforward. We have one namespace for each customer, so we can isolate data and get all the ready-to-use IRIS features to manage it, and we achieve security by design using this kind of organization. However, we have one special case, which are the federation of the namespace. We are going to implement a benchmark, so we need to get data for all of the customers, I mean for all of the namespace. So the challenge was how to aggregate data isolation in the namespace. The solution was straightforward in using IRIS global and routine mappings, and with the bonus of no data duplication. So the conclusions of what we achieved so far. This is a work in progress project, but so far we can implement our data pipeline, which was, as Adriano said in the beginning, a lack of feature that we have so far in order to make easy customer send data. We could deliver our first data as a service project, the shift to business benchmarking. We created a linear data pipeline, but can be derived to non-linear data pipelines. We still have a work in the progress with scalability using IKO and ICP. For the data ingestion process, the granularity of the steps enables us to achieve a simplified data ingestion project. Basically, we have to implement a way in some piece of software in the source that just have to create CSV files, compress and send to ordinary REST API. So it's pretty easy to get. And we've taken advantage of building support for CSV in IRIS through interoperability and load data statement. Oh, sorry. For transformations, we are able to do transformations just using plain SQL and Jinja templates, which is very nice because SQL is widely known among developers, so it's easy to get people qualified to work. And also DBT has nice features as data catalog and data quality tests. And also we have facing some challenges with current processing, which we are addressing with InterSystems. Data federation was easily achieved using globals and routine mappings. We are able to run our DBT scripts across all data from all customers. At the same time, keep data isolated on each customer namespace when scripts have to access exactly the customer data with no duplication. We can implement our first data as a service product and deliver it both for our BI solution and another ways to access data, allowing customers to access through another data visualization as Microsoft Excel. Yeah, however, we also have some challenges with complex measures within adaptive analytics, which InterSystems NetScale are helping us to overcome. And finally, we are starting our single source of truth. We can connect our BI and another visualization tool at the same data warehouse. So this is something we are in our path to achievements in the future, and we could start now. In order to finalize my presentation, I will show a quick demo of the benchmarking. So this is the visualization into our BI solution. At the left, you see box plot charts, sorry, with the all customers statistics. The blue dots are the current customer values. At the right side, you can see KPIs. At the top, the KPI of the customer, and the bottom, the average KPI for whole population. Users, of course, are allowed to uh, check details of the data through the, the chart interface. Currently, we implement two kind of KPIs, demographic and critical results. Um, for the for the critical results, we are showing how many critical results are successfully communicated to patients. And for demographic, we already so far had implemented the amount of servers and tests conducted by the lab. So, yeah, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you so much, Adriano and José, for your presentation. It's really been a pleasure to work with you, and the title of this session is really because when they first described their architecture and their pitch for this session, it really struck me how much it resembled the things that we presented last year at Global Summit as our roadmap. So I think there's an exciting synergy in what we're working on and what you're working on, and that's it's just super rewarding to be here on stage with you. So I wanted to complement that story with well, probably what they're going to present next year. So the roadmap for InterSystems IRIS when it comes to data and analytics. So what's the direction that we're going? I tried to organize it in, well, 3 directions. So we'll talk a little bit about what does this mean in the context of cloud services? What does it mean in the context of onboarding data onto a platform like Shifts? And then some more enhancements on the pure analytics side. So first, let's start with the composable cloud services. So our vision for cloud services is that they're composable and that they're based on a smart data fabric. So you can see how this is sort of a layered architecture. I'm not sure how many of you attended the previous sessions about data fabric today, but the idea of a data fabric is to make data available for data consumers on their terms, so that they don't have to worry whether the data is coming from a data warehouse, from a data mart, whether it's just sitting on a file system or anything, and that if you are a BI user, you will find your analytical model. If you're a data scientist, you can get your data in a Parquet file format or anything. So it's really very data consumer focused, and that translates very naturally to the cloud, where you also are, well, supposed to be not very interested into what the backend looks like. And that is supported by a control plane that helps you drive and organize a data plane that then offers distinct data services that then present you in the various APIs that you can compose your fabric about. And it's on top of that that we also would layer those application components. Great example of that is the Data Fabric Studio that you saw this morning during the keynote presentation that Mike Hom and Jeff Fried showed off, and that you may have seen next door in the previous slot. A couple additional roadmap items in our cloud services portfolio. So we are continuing to plan and release additional industry solutions. So the IRIS Data Fabric Studio is a great example of that, focused on financial services, also in the supply chain industry, and obviously in healthcare. There's quite a bit in the pipeline. You may have attended my colleague Stefan Wittmann's session earlier today, in which he officially launched the Cloud Document Service, InterSystems IRIS Cloud Document, which is a new offering that offers a native document API that comes with clients driver technology that is also optimized for working with documents. So it's really an exciting complement to our data services portfolio. If you're interested, the early access program for that starts today. Scalability is another key area where we plan a lot. So right now, for example, if you look at Cloud SQL, you can choose which T-search size you wanna spin up, and that implies both CPU, memory, and storage allocations. We want to make that much more flexible and make sure that you have a more fine-grained control about which particular a ratio you would like to provision, and also kind of make sure that at the higher end of the spectrum, we have more abilities to scale out horizontally. Enterprise tier, I will, you may, when you look at what Cloud SQL or what our Health Connect Cloud offers today, you may find that, well, that has all these enterprise features, but so I think as we've been releasing cloud services in the past year and a half, 2 years, we have focused very much on enterprise customers that we had already identified and already know, and making sure that the infrastructure is up for those tasks. But that means that somehow the entry point might be a little bit above what some initial scenarios could look like. So we're going to fine-tune our offering a little bit and have distinct developer tiers, departmental tiers, and then enterprise tiers, in which there's also going to be more options for advanced networking to integrate with your existing environments, etc. So a little bit more cleaner separation and more options for you to choose from, without with the goal, obviously, of not making things more complicated than they need to be. So that's about the cloud services. Now talking just a little more about the onboarding, which is a lot about what the data pipeline is that José was just presenting earlier. One of our key capabilities there, we officially released it, or we first released it with 23.1 as an experimental feature, and we are very close to dropping the experimental label. Currently you can use JDBC or CSV sources. ODBC is almost done. And it sort of complements our load data command. So it's got the same configuration surface, but the distinction is that with load data, you're really copying the data into your environments, as is the case in the Shift Data platform. And with foreign tables, you're just leaving the data where it is, managed in the place where it currently resides, and you're just projecting it into your IRIS environment such that you can access them there. So that's actually purely a metadata based approach. There are two sort of strategies how we manage the processing. One of them is pushing down some work. So if you're querying a foreign table and we identify that there's a where clause or some other kind of operation or criterion that is something that is actually that the source platform is capable of doing, we will push that processing down. Which can make a huge difference if it's a where clause that filters your 2 billion row table to just 10 rows. If you first need to pull in all those billions of rows and then do the filtering on IRIS, that's not a good idea, of course. So that is what query pushdown is for. We took a bit of a cautious start in the initial release because you have to be absolutely rock solid sure that you're semantically in a semantically correct way pushing down things, and that there's no risk of some subtle differences in how the source platform interprets the SQL. So we're now expanding that, and through feedback from the early access program, also from University of Utah, who presented about their use case just before this session, we're expanding that list. Another thing that we added and that will be available as part of the 24.2 release is the push-through capability. With push-through, we're addressing a need that we didn't come up with ourselves. This was an idea from University of Utah that found that they needed to be able to explore those remote databases in a way before they could create a foreign table that projects the information. So with this new command, with the through statement, you can write a SQL statement in the syntax, the dialect of your source system, and we will just push it down in its entirety, and we will give you back the rows that result from it. And then after that, you can, after you've validated that is indeed the shape that you were looking for, it's easy to create a foreign table from it. So that's a nice new thing that's coming up. So you may have seen that our learning team is great at pulling off demos and drinks events and doing Oscar award ceremonies yesterday evening, but they're also great, obviously, at their core job, which is providing learning content. So a big shout out for a nice video that they produced that lays out the capabilities of foreign tables very, very nicely. Other new capabilities or roadmap items in the context of data onboarding. So we've got a couple of enhancements in the ingestion side coming up. We actually have in almost every single release, but now there's a really big change coming up in 24.2 for improving the performance of loading columnar tables. So that's really going to make an order of magnitude difference in loading speeds, so that columnar storage, which is traditionally very different from ingesting in row tables, is now getting into the same order of magnitude again. Transformations, so we intend to do some more work on the DBT IRIS adapter to take advantage of recent things that we've done on the IRIS side. So that's that's also on the roadmap. But I think these are all things that where we are very grateful for feedback that we're getting from customers like Shift to know where there are additional areas for improvement. Another new thing that you'll see in, I guess that's going to be 24.3, is in-place conversions. So what does that mean? So we've got, you may have heard us talk about columnar storage, about sharding, as all very exciting things to deal with very large tables and speed up your query performance on those. But if you already have a very large table, then you want to get that in the columnar format, or you want to get that in your sharded cluster environment in a practical way. So table conversions are new options for the alter table command that do that transformation in place, so that you don't have to kind of create a copy. So if you have a 50 gigabyte table, that's not very practical to copy that next to it, but with table conversions you can just do that in place, and depending on which transition you're into, we will continue to support queries and or insert updates and deletes while the conversion is taking place. So that's a very exciting thing to just make it more flexible and smooth for you to work with data. If you were in the roadmap presentation from Gokhan earlier this afternoon here next door, you probably heard him talk about data onboarding, data catalog experiences. This is something where we recognize that we have a lot of opportunities for making it easier to navigate the data assets in your platform, in your services, in your fabric. And there's a whole range of new use cases with respect to governance, onboarding, and recommendation engines that can tap into data usage statistics, data distribution statistics, and some organizational lore labeling of data sets. So that is something that is an active area of R&D for us. And if you have specific requirements there, please reach out, because we're very eager to hear from you. And then just to tap into the analytics offerings. Yesterday, together with Carmen Logue and Tom Dayar, we already presented a quick overview of our analytics portfolio. I just wanted to, in the context of the Shift Data platform, zoom in on a couple things in a little more detail. First and foremost, columnar storage, which is something that we presented about last year together, where you did some really diligent research into what columnar storage meant for the Shift application. So what columnar storage is a new way, or it's an alternative way of laying out your data in a way that can dramatically speed up your analytical queries, taking advantage of very low-level smarts in your chipset, as well as more high-level query processing practices. So we're not the only one offering columnar storage. There's columnar databases out there and have been for a while, but there's very few that offer row and columnar in a single engine. And there's none that offer it with the level of flexibility that we have. You cannot just define it at a table level, but you can also define it at the index level, or have individual columns in your table use a columnar layout and others use the regular row layout, which can be beneficial in certain use cases where you want to economize on some columns and where others need to be very fast for row level or transactional ingestion. What have we done in the meantime since the first full release last year? I already mentioned the upcoming data ingestion enhancements. There's also a project that's going to probably be part of the 24.3 release that's going to loosen some limitations on string length. And the table conversions I also just mentioned. And then sort of a continuous process is enhancing our query optimizer, which Aviel sitting in the back there is top of mind for him. That's what he spent his nights on when while he's during the day attending the conference. A few more roadmap items. Some of these are now available, such as the advanced filtering in IRIS BI, our embedded BI solution for when you want to embed analytics into your application. And there's some more work planned for the Cube Manager, which allows you to orchestrate cube builds and synchronization if you have multiple of those with dependencies. Adaptive analytics, also part of the Shift Data platform. Evaluation saw a new release with support for Looker and ClickSense just in time, and also some integration with data catalog vendors. With integrated ML, we can now do some fortune telling, hence the cookie, with our time series support, which is a very easy way to build forecasting models. It's really it's really a very straightforward way, very simple models, and it can really enhance your reporting a lot by complementing existing KPIs with a very basic prediction that's based on a time series, so that you can get some basic forecasting. So not just knowing how well am I doing, but how well am I doing based on, versus what is forecasted given the history. And then another big project that we hope to release a first part of, a first full version of later this calendar year is table partitioning. The goal of table partitioning is to allow you to spread your table data across multiple storage volumes to enable storage tiering. So the most typical example is you want to have your most recent transactions on your premium storage because they are going to be queried all the time. But then the transactions from, let's say, last year or 2 years ago, they're not worth all that expense, that storage expense for your premium disks. So you can just put those partitions on much cheaper spinning disks. And the most important part of table partitioning is that it's completely transparent to applications or queries that use those tables, and also making it very easy for a user or an operator to do those mappings. You mentioned global mappings, routine mappings. That's all kind of hardcore stuff, and you need to know what's under the SQL hood. Well, with table partitioning, we'll hide that under a nice tablecloth, so that you literally tablecloth that you can organize it at the table level. All right, that was a quick overview of relevant roadmap items in our data and analytics roadmap. I just wanted to conclude by talking just a minute about the collaboration that we went through, and how this project nicely brings together lots of great stuff. So what I really like is how the Shift Data platform implements a lot of industry best practices, and it's especially rewarding when those industry best practices are also achievable on IRIS, because we saw the same industry best practices and we identified an opportunity to leverage those in IRIS. I think DBT is a really good example of that. It really simplifies things to make sure that you can leverage existing SQL skills for your data engineering work. Also, the diligent evaluation. I remember a number of calls now where you present us with these long lists of requirements and scorecards of, well, we would like this more and that less, and also the detailed testing has been very good for us as well. So I think I can only encourage others to, if they aren't already, to also just reach out with feedback. If you're doing these kinds of evaluations, work with us. We love to learn from you. We love to work with you, and together make sure that your investments, your projects are as successful as they can be. With that, we've got about 5 minutes left for questions. So if you have some questions about the Shift Data platform or our roadmap items, now is a great time. Well, I have this question, filling in the feedback form. That's always helpful for us to make sure that we can optimize our schedule next year to address your interests and your questions. Well, if you don't have any immediate questions, maybe I have a question. Whether there's a particular technology where you saw immediate gains. What was the part in this whole Shift Data Platform project where it took you the least amount of time from opening the getting started page and being successful?
I hope no question, but you. Right. I think it was the BT. The BT. It's very pleasure. You know you get using just SQL to coordinate all the transformation workflow. You, for instance, using CTE, common table expressions, you can organize your SQL as a kind of library statements, giving nice names that make sense, and you can use a approach like divide to conquer, you know. So it's much more readable to get your transformation scripts. And also you have features like a DAG, a graph, where you can check the dependencies, data catalog. You can implement data quality tests. You can create your own macros using just SQL as well. You can use templates. So it's very simple, very straightforward, and added value to development, in my opinion.
Great, thank you. In the meantime, anybody in the audience that has a question? Well, we're all going to be still around for another day, so if you have any further questions or have ideas, please don't hesitate to share them. If you're interested in participating in any of the early access programs, so for the InterSystems IRIS Cloud document just launched today, but there's also these others that may be of interest to you, so please scan the QR code, sign up, and let us know what you think. And we're happy to hear from you. So thank you all, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the conference. Thanks.